The 2024 Super Bowl, I thought, had a pretty weak lineup of ads, especially compared with past years, but it seems like every year there's always at least one standout ad, and I believe this year's goes to Duolingo. They aired probably the most cursed ad at a Super Bowl since the Puppy Monkey Baby ad from like 10 years ago. Now, historically, Duolingo's go-to marketing tactic is fear. Don't want to study the language that you're trying to learn? Well, Duo the Owl is going to come find you. It makes perfect sense. Constantly threaten your users to use your app more often, and they will, which means you make more money. Except that so far in 2024, Duolingo has actually seen a relative decline in their stock price. So it makes sense that they decided to throw a Hail Mary at the Super Bowl and do something pretty disturbing. A 30-second ad at the Super Bowl this year went for between $6.5 and $7 million, which means if we do some quick math, that for a 5-second ad, which is all that Duolingo purchased, would be about $1.2 million. So for $1.2 million, Duolingo decided to show you this. They really went all out with the shading on this one. Normally the Duolingo owl just is kind of a flat color design, but $1.2 million buys you the best graphic butt artists, I suppose. Apparently they're calling this the buttception. I'm not even kidding. Duolingo on Twitter, that's literally what they're calling it from their own marketing team. Now, I don't currently have Duolingo on my phone. I primarily use it on the computer, but supposedly mobile users received this push notification right after the ad aired. You have to give that marketing team credit. I mean, this is a super creative idea, and while disturbing, effective. I mean, just imagine the faces of every parent in America across the world watching the Super Bowl with their children when this ad aired, rushing to cover the eyes of their children as a baby owl pops out the literal butt of the Duolingo owl. Duolingo, of course, capitalized on this pretty heavily on social media, especially on Twitter, where they posted a series of other sort of cursed memes to go with this ad, like this one, kind of spoofing that Kim Kardashian champagne ginormous butt photo shoot, which they tagged Beyonce in this tweet. I think they got it mixed up. I could have sworn the original photo shoot was with Kim Kardashian. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. They also posted a picture of Duo the Owl streaking on the field. Fun fact, there was a streaker at this year's Super Bowl. So, you know, it's relevant. It makes sense that they would do something kind of funny like this, except that they blurred the genitals. Your owl doesn't have any genitals, so it doesn't make any sense. It's a graphic design. It's a mascot for a giant company. But since now that we're all talking about Duolingo again, I think we should also talk about whether or not you can actually learn a language on Duolingo. Does their app even work? I mean, their marketing works, but does their app work for its intended purpose? In my opinion, kind of. I am a self-taught Spanish speaker y llevo 10 años ya practicando español y ya lo hablo más o menos sin problemas. Además, hace unos meses pasé 24 horas haciendo Duolingo. El curso de español lo hice sin parar, así que por eso creo que estoy cualificado para hablar de este tema. On their website, they claim that you can learn as much as 5 semesters of university instruction in just 5 sections of their courses, which seems like a pretty awesome stat, except for, you know, given that I went to college and majored in Spanish, generally modern language classes in American universities are a joke. This stat is awesome at face value, but in reality, it just doesn't check out. Because you're comparing supposedly your awesome app that teaches its users how to learn a language, you're comparing it with something that is completely ineffective and just doesn't teach language. There were an embarrassingly high number of people who graduated with me with a degree in Spanish who could not speak Spanish. They could not hold a conversation to save their life. The fact of the matter is that Duolingo is not going to teach you to speak a language and speak it fluently. You will always have to find native speakers and speak with them regularly. There's literally no way around this. I mean, think about it in English. There are a million ways to say the same thing. Also, when you're actually speaking with native speakers, a lot of times people will mumble or speak super fast or swallow the ends of their words, and it's kind of hard to understand what they're saying. So Duolingo is not teaching you any of this. And while yes, you do need to learn basic grammar and vocab, which Duolingo is great for, it's not going to teach you the nuances or the real meat of being able to speak and understand a language. But I think ultimately what Duolingo is actually the best for, it's not necessarily teaching you the language, is that it's so good at reminding you to use the app. And since you associate learning a language with their app, when you're being reminded to use their app, you're being reminded to learn your language. In summary, Duolingo's marketing tactics work, and because their app is associated with actually learning a language, even if it won't actually teach you that language, they're great at keeping you consistently learning your target language. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please smash that subscribe button if you did enjoy the video. And, I do a lot of other Duolingo related things, primarily marathon speedrunning Duolingo. So like I mentioned earlier in the video, I did spend 24 hours straight completing their Spanish course. I'm going to be doing that again soon to try and beat my time. So I'm super excited about that. But I also do other ones like 10 hours on Duolingo learning Polish, or I'm going to do Japanese here soon. So subscribe if any of that interests you. Thank you very much.